Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. Since I published the video yesterday regarding the early implementation of ISO 20022 and how 4 banks in 4 different countries were all kind of coincidentally going offline at the same time, how that seemed a little fishy, well, I've been getting tagged on Twitter, and here's just one of them. Bitcoin Bobby BTC here posted this, my credit union as well. We will be conducting planned maintenance Sunday, November the 20th from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. Online and mobile banking may be unavailable, and information displayed may not be current during this time. We apologize for any inconvenience. So it's looking as though those 4 banks are not the only ones. Other banks too, I'm assuming this is in the United States, I don't know that for sure, but other banks as well are also going offline that same weekend. If you guys didn't catch the video I did yesterday, I will link it up here in the top right hand corner. All things to consider. I also saw this, guys, from Ian Binns, also relating to that particular story. On the Swift website, it states that the conversion of ISO 20022 from MT, which is the old standard, to MX, which is the new standard, starts in November. So they have actually mentioned it here on their website. We still don't have much information regarding that. We only have a date, November the 20th, 2022, standards MX release 2022 live. Whatever that means. So it is likely that these banks are in fact going offline because that new ISO 20022 standard is being implemented. I also saw this from BondCrypt XRP with regards to standards. So they used to be Combank, and they will be migrating CB payments to the ISO 20022 standard this month. Interesting thing is that Ripple, which uses XRP plus RippleNet network, was originally designed to comply with ISO 20022 and already meets that standard. If you guys don't remember, Ripple was the first cryptocurrency related company to jump onto the ISO 20022 standard. And my thought is that has a lot to do with their connections globally to the World Economic Forum, to the IMF, the Central Bank for Central Banks, the BIS, not to mention all those other global central banks. Well, the Bank of Australia's largest financial conglomerate, Combank, has announced it will begin migrating cross-border payments to the ISO 20022 standard this month. So they have also confirmed this. They said this in a tweet, guys. Hi there. From November 22, cross-border payments will start to migrate to ISO 20022 with all payments to be made and received using the ISO 20022 messaging system by November 2025. And the fact that cross-border payments will be greatly simplified as a result. What makes this announcement interesting is that Ripple, which uses XRP in its operations and whose RippleNet network was originally designed to comply with ISO 20022, already meets the standard. Apart from Ripple, the only similar company would be Stellar's XLM, which we also know, although I think at this point there are more coins that do meet that standard. But for cross-border payments specifically, we know XRP has kind of been the gold standard for that. XLM, obviously a very similar cryptocurrency. Combank is not even the first major Australian bank to take steps towards a new interbank correspondence standard. In March this year, the National Australia Bank, or NAB, began to adopt ISO 20022 through RippleNet, and just yesterday I reported on some more news with regards to NAB, that particular Australian bank. So they're even stating it here, right? They are moving on to that new standard. And also just wanted to bring this up because although it is not a bank, it is a cryptocurrency exchange, which we know have been under the spotlight as of late because of the FTX collapse. Well, this was just in, and I think they're online now. Well, this came in from Mr. Whale. The Gemini exchange is currently undergoing maintenance. Please check your status page for more information. I think they are up now. However, it is another good reminder to make sure, guys, you keep your cryptocurrency safe. Get it off the exchange, put it all into cold storage, a solution like the Ledger Nano or something similar. I do have an affiliate link with the cold storage solution that I use, which is a Ledger Nano. You can use my affiliate link. You don't have to use it. But, you know, I've been, like I was saying yesterday, I got to thank everybody for using my affiliate link. I have noticed an uptick, actually, in people purchasing and using my affiliate link over the last week or so because of this FTX thing. And, you know, I've been urging people to do this since 2018. I mean, mainly because of hacks on exchanges. But, you know, who would have thought that we would come to a point where you can't even trust that the exchange that you do business on is going to remain solvent? So, I mean, you know, it's almost worse than a hack. At least in the case of a hack, you can maybe find the hackers and, you know, they'll be arrested. They have to turn over the goods. But in the case of a collapse, FTX going bankrupt, you are not going to see that cryptocurrency again. So always prudent. Keep your cryptocurrency safe. Again, I do have an affiliate link in the description of the video if you guys want to use it. Here's the XRP chart, guys, on the daily. Nothing really to write home about with regards to XRP. Still kind of trending just in this pattern here. Right now, trading at about 37.3. Bringing up Bitcoin, we're seeing a similar pattern here. Not really too much to write home about. Bitcoin right now trading at 16,500, give or take. So, market is kind of settled down a little bit. The positive news for XRP holders is that we can look forward to the fact that Ripple is continuously improving the ecosystem, improving the crypto space, despite all the doom and gloom and turmoil that we're seeing. We have a company here with real value, a $10+ billion company that doesn't even balk at dropping $100 million in court to fight the SEC. Well, Ripple's now holding its swell event. Over 10 years now, Ripple has been at the crux between enterprise and crypto native services, and we are doubling down on that. Brad Garlinghouse did address the Ripple swell global audience today, noting successes over the past decade and promising a robust future ahead. Here's Brad Garlinghouse with the opening remarks.
I'm excited to share with all of you that Ripple has now processed nearly $30 billion worth of volume since launch and over 20 million transactions since we first launched RippleNet years ago. We're helping customers every step of the way to make sure their wallet has sufficient liquidity at all times for the smoothest possible experience. Over 10 years now, Ripple has been at the crux between enterprises and crypto native services, and we are doubling down on that. I hope it resonates with you in the same way it resonates with me, and this is crypto means business.
And they've created a nice little logo there, nice little splash logo for the swell videos. Crypto means business. That sounds like it is their new motto. Obviously, talking about the liquidity, first and foremost, that is one of the most important things for the company. Make sure that XRP is liquid enough so that these businesses are able to conduct nearly $30 billion worth of transactions. And he said one other thing here. Right, there was making sure everybody's wallet has sufficient liquidity at any given time. And then the fact that enterprise and crypto native services, right, doubling down on that. Obviously expanding and growing across the world. Many new offices did pop up last year, like there was one in Dublin, Toronto, and Miami. So, Ripple not really affected by this spec crypto market. We're also seeing more Ripple partners doubling down, like Square. They're joining forces with Ripple partner Amex to launch a credit card built specifically for Square sellers. The first credit card Square offers to its small business users will integrate directly with the firm's broader ecosystem, helping sellers to organize their finances and manage their cash flow from the same platform they use to run their business. Available to Square sellers in the US, the card will run on the Amex network, be powered by I2C, and issued by Celtic Bank. So interesting that they are partnering with Amex specifically. Mike Manfield also bringing this up, both of which have connections to I2C and Ripple. So RippleNet partner Wirex did partner with I2C as well. Interesting connection there. Another example of how we're seeing these Ripple partners really thrive. If you were at the cutting edge, if you were a partner back in 2018, you really do have the upper hand. If you integrated before the pandemic, well, what businesses were getting most of the business during the pandemic, right? Think about that for a second. If it took you time to integrate and you were maybe integrating throughout 2020 or 2021, you probably do not have that same leverage that companies that partnered with Ripple in 2018 and 2019 have. So we're seeing a lot of these partnerships thrive. Wanted to thank Mike for posting that. I also saw this, guys, another clip from Swell from yesterday. Strong first day at Swell in London, kicked off with an energetic and forward-looking conversation with Jorn Lambert from MasterCard and ended the day presenting our 5th annual Blockchain Innovation Awards. Congratulations to the winners. This from Brooks Entwistle. He is SVP of Global Customer Success at Ripple. And here's Brooks Entwistle just having a discussion with Jorn Lambert of MasterCard.
You've been very vocal about you think this is as transformative crypto as the internet was in the late 90s when it first came into being.
The internet was a distributed network that allows people to transmit information. And blockchain is a distributed network that allows people to store and transfer ownership assets. I have the conviction for that vision to realize itself, the financial industry needs to come on board. There is no other way. There is no other way for blockchain and these business models to go mainstream without the financial industry.
So blockchain in conjunction with the financial industry, that marriage is ultimately going to mean success Jordan Lambert is likening blockchain technology today to the internet back in the 1990s. And, it was a pain. People didn't jump on the internet right away in the 90s and even in the 2000s. It took a little while. It took about a good 10, 15 years before people were really utilizing the internet for business purposes, for, real world life purposes. If you guys remember, I don't know how old you are, but back in the late 90s, you'd go on message boards in your band and your favorite band's websites and, sign the guest book and all that fun stuff that the internet had available to us. But really, it was just playtime, and it was all playtime. There was no real business utility, even though the capabilities were there. It took some time to develop, and this is exactly what he's saying with blockchain technology. The other thing he's saying, big finance has to jump on board. It needs to be regulated. And this is how blockchain is really going to flourish, and we're already starting to see it. It's already been about a decade, but this next decade, it's looking very promising. So an interesting clip there. Of course, there are going to be many other applications on the XRPL. This one from DJ Peter Vass. Mintable now supports NFT transactions and minting on the XRP ledger. So Mintable's partnership with Ripple is a step forward in the multi-chain future of the NFT ecosystem, bringing one of the most trusted and sustainable blockchains to the wider NFT community. So we talked about this partnership, Mintable, a few months ago. Users will now be able to buy, sell, and mint NFTs on the XRPL securely with ease and cost efficiency. Mintable will partner with Ripple, the leader in enterprise blockchain and crypto solutions, to bring creators and developers together to enable the creation of high-quality NFT projects and provide a no-code solution for independent creators on the XRP ledger. While there are currently many blockchain alternatives to Ethereum within the ecosystem, creators and developers can benefit from the XRPL's long-standing reliability to enable settlement and liquidity of tokenized assets at scale. The XRPL is led by a global developer community that provides a solid and flexible open source foundation for various use cases. With over a decade of uptime, the XRPL has been a reliable backbone for a variety of applications, including payments, tokenizations, and now NFTs. So we're also seeing these verticals expand. A few years ago, Brad Garlinghouse was talking about how payments is just the beginning for the XRPL, and how Ripple was going to help foster the ecosystem in other ways. And so they have created funds, they have created grants in order to support more development on the XRP ledger. Of course, with more development on the XRP ledger means more utility on the XRP ledger, ultimately meaning more demand for the XRP cryptocurrency, the native token of the XRP ledger. And of course, over time, guys, more demand of XRP means a higher price. Here's a quote. The XRPL is a valuable addition to the NFT ecosystem. It is a battle-tested and highly secure blockchain that will help overcome NFT adoption barriers related to security and environmental concerns, is coming from Patrick Chin, CMO of Mintable. Ripple works with some of the biggest companies in the world and will be bringing a suite of valuable partnerships to the NFT ecosystem. We are excited to join the ranks of Ripple's NFT partner to help with their NFT initiative and to introduce one of the most secure, sustainable, and efficient blockchains to the NFT ecosystem. Just to give you guys a little background on Mintable too, just down here, Mintable announced the backing of its high caliber investors. So this is funded by some big players. Renowned venture capitalist and television personality Mark Cuban, Sound Ventures, a venture capital firm founded by Ashton Kutcher and Guy Osseri, and Time Ventures, an investment fund Mark Benioff. So the NFT hype of 2021, that was just the beginning. NFTs are going to be more popular, and the tokenization of everything with perceived value, that is also going to be one of these cornerstones of minting NFTs on a distributed ledger, and hopefully the XRPL does become a premium ledger. We're already seeing a lot of development. I'm sure that means more will come. So today is day 2, guys, and I'm going to bring you guys more news from Swell as it does come. Our 6th annual Ripple Swell is underway. This coming from Brad Garlinghouse. I took the stage this morning with CNBC Karen to discuss all things Ripple, crypto utility, macroeconomics, factors affecting crypto, and much more. And so here's just a brief thread from Brad Garlinghouse. With all that's happened in the past few weeks and over the course of this year's ups and downs, it feels even more imperative that we've gathered together in person to have an honest conversation about solving real-world problems with crypto and blockchain. As I said on stage, I firmly believe that crypto will be stronger because of this if we keep focusing on transparency and trust. Ripple has and will continue to lead in this regard. So nothing is really holding them back. On a very positive note, we made some major announcements this week. Part 1, we've processed $30 billion in payments on RippleNet, both fiat and crypto, and we're partnering with MFS Africa to bring ODL to Africa. So this was a big piece of news, another ODL corridor that Ripple announced a couple of days ago. So that is big news considering Africa is one of those highly untapped regions of the world that needs ease of payment. Announcement part 2. He goes on to say, with more to come, nearly 40 payout markets are live with ODL, representing 90% of FX markets, 19 plus new and upgraded from fiat ODL customers across the globe. And so customers are using the liquidity hub, namely Supermojo. He tags them down here in this. And despite some headwinds, I'm immensely proud of the Ripple team who day in and day out focus on helping our customers move value around the world, whether remittances, individual payments, bulk funding, treasury management, and more. With, of course, the hashtag crypto means business. Sounds like that is their new headline. I really didn't go into MFS in too much depth the other day. It was kind of a fleeting story. There was so much going on last week, spilling into this week. Wrath of Kahneman, though, giving us a comprehensive thread. Don't miss the news that MFS Africa is now a Ripple ODL partner amidst all the news of the day. This is a potentially huge partnership. Why so exciting? A humble thread beginning with the obvious and moving to the not so obvious in 7 tweets. So, just to kind of hit the salient points here, guys. First, mobile uptake is important. Ripple notes worldwide use is expected to reach 70% of the global population, largely in markets in the APAC and Africa region. This is perfect high volume, small payment application that could generate tremendous volume. So we're taking RippleNet, we're taking ODL, we're taking the value of what we have today, and we're going to just compound it, okay? Because Africa is so untapped that we're just really going to see an acceleration of volume once this is implemented in its full capacity. Second, he goes on to say, payment structures across Africa aren't well connected with poor liquidity. Many transactions are cross-border, but even domestic payments can be a challenge. ODL can offer a 701 mobile market, cheap, fast, reliable payments. I don't know what he meant there. I think that's a typo. Nevertheless, let's keep going. It's very exciting. MFS Africa, a big payco, jumped right in with ODL, or on-demand liquidity. They didn't follow the RippleNet to ODL pathway. The largest mobile money platform across Africa started with it. That is a significant attestation to Ripple's ability to implement things. So think about it if this were 3 years ago. Usually these customers were still fairly skeptical, and big ones especially would start small, maybe do a bit of a test, a bit of a pilot, and eventually kind of wean their way on ODL. And it was almost a pain point for Ripple. They really had to, educate to get these companies, to get these organizations involved in ODL. Well, this was the first time, it seems as though this is the first time a large organization, MFS Africa, jumped right in with ODL. So that is a good sign that Ripple is being more and more trusted in this industry. Notably, MFS Africa is a member of the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System. PAPSS facilitates payments between countries. With a unified settlement system, it looks a lot like SWIFT does, messaging and correspondent banking specifically for Africa. So there's that part to it as well. We're not very familiar. At least I'm not very familiar with how payments in Africa work specifically. And so to understand the scale of this and how big Ripple's ODL in this market could get is pretty exciting. In addition to banks, PAPSS connects central banks too. Given the prevalence of mobile wallets in the region, could national payments move through ODL? Well, no doubt they could. PAPSS was adopted as a payments and settlement system to support the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area in 2018 and just recorded its first successful transaction in October. So this is all very new to Africa as it builds out, but considering Africa is so underdeveloped compared to the rest of the world with regards to all this payment type of infrastructure, and considering the population of Africa and the business that goes through Africa, this just spells more demand. So MFS Africa may be a huge partnership within a Central African payments player, connecting CCs, retail and central banks through mobile devices. They are buying US companies, connecting a continent, building out infrastructure, and now sometimes via ODL. Let's also not forget that there's a lot of investment in Africa right now, namely from China. China is building infrastructure in Africa because, well, China's got the money. They see Africa as an opportunity. We've got an American company, Ripple, now running ODL through Africa, guys. The demand is going to be huge. And the more demand there is for XRP, the higher the price goes. Let's see what Swell will bring us today. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.